Yo, station everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Supreme Clientele. We are on episode 38, bro. That again, blowing my mind. Here May 1st, 2024. Hope everybody's doing well. It's way too hot in my neck of the woods. We're already in the 80s. I'm not ready for summer. Go back, go away. I want a couple more months of winter, dude. I'm too warm-blooded for this shit, man. But always good to be in the place to be with my brother Link. My brother, how are you? Good to see you. How's your week been, bro?
Doing well. It's not gotten that hot here yet, but I feel you. I'm like,
Man,
it's got to be in the right the degree sphere or whatever, for me to be comfortable. I'm either too hot or too cold, so I feel you on that. The only reason I've come to the conclusion, I used to say I prefer summer, but I come to the conclusion that that was just tied in with summer break with school and shit, and that school has been out, so it does summer doesn't really have that appeal as it once did. I'm more of a fall guy, it's that
amen.
sweet spot.
Yeah, and it's like
No, other than
we're
that,
yeah, we're getting, and I feel like we're getting into this. We're in the spot where it's like two seasons these days. Like
yeah,
it's either summer, or it's winter. Like I feel like spring and fall,
yep,
those segue seasons are
yeah,
becoming shorter and
super
shorter. But
short.
yeah, man, dude, nothing beats that feeling coming outside. It's late summer. It's like late August, and feeling that first like breath of cold air, like fall's on the way. Ah, it's the best.
Yeah,
On the flip
yeah.
side, this is like 83 and May 1st, and like we're gonna be touching 90, I think, sometime here in the next like week or two. I'm not like we need to chill out. So yeah,
I
man.
agree.
Yeah, but
But
as
no,
always,
like you
good to
said, I'm
see
happy
you.
to be
Yeah, man. Likewise, likewise.
here.
At least we got comic books. Um, yeah. God bless global warming. But Inja in the place to be. Inja, what up? Nick said, what up? He's going to catch the rewind, of course, but stopping in to say hello. Nick, we appreciate you, bro. And we got E in the place. E, what up? Y'all sound off if you're here in the chat. Love to hear from you. Love to interact with you. Say something. Say hello. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's had a decent week. Yeah, so we're going to start it out with our new comics. We got a couple clunkers this week, but we're gonna catch up. I think first with Mark Russell's Batman Dark Age, um, issues 1 and 2. We haven't done one, so let's get into our new comics real quick.
Ooh, check out this comic book.
Ooh, are these new?
Yeah, hell yeah. Link, just thoughts in general going into Batman Dark Age. I know had you read Superman Space Age, the first kind of installment of this universe?
I've not, but this has made me want to go back and read that. I didn't, I heard good things about it from you guys, but I just, I hadn't really just checked it out, for whatever reason. But once again, this is a good Stu recommendation. I'm glad you put this on my radar.
Thanks, man. That makes
Just
me happy.
overall, no, of course, but just an overall, with certain heroes, you see their mythos done over so many times. After a while, it gets really stagnant still. Um, so this is like, to me, it was surprising that it's almost like a new twist. With they amalgamate certain things from certain eras, but they make it work in a new way.
Yes.
But I really dug it.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh yeah, very well said. It too. They pull from so many corners of the DC universe. I love a lot of characters that they give shine, even if just for a brief moment in this. And a lot of the details, I think, for me, comics is always about those small things, like finding joy in those details. And I feel like these two issues have had an abundance of them. It's really been a joy to experience. But yeah, I love Superman Space Age. Just kind of DC wanting to continue on that success. They bring Russell and Mike Allred back for another installment. This, like Link said, this one's telling uh, Batman's origin story. But before you go rolling your eyes, like I did initially as well, this one it tells it in a completely different way. Not the Bruce you're used to, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of these characters, not the it's an Elseworld story in every sense of the word. So a lot of these characters have been flipped on their head or reinvented in very cool ways, and it's been awesome to kind of kind of walk through. Real quick, with the covers have been great. I think limited run, but most of them have been fire. Yannick Paquette, who of course did Wonder Woman Earth One with Grant Morrison, is one of the runs that I know a fantastic artist, very undersung artist, I would say. Paquette,
Absolutely.
Frank Quitely, dude, coming through with that stunner of a variant there on cover C. This was my favorite one of the bunch, though. Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, like, Frank Quitely is such an acquired taste in a lot of ways, but he's almost like my favorite. Like, anytime I see Quitely on something, I'm gonna grab it, whatever it is. If it's got Quitely, I feel like it raises it. It might be just my nostalgia tied to like new X-Men and JLA Earth 2 and shit like that, Week 3, but he's one of those artists, like anytime I see him on something, I gotta go out of my way to grab that.
Dude, I think that's a fair assessment. Like, because what was he just on? The Ambassadors. Now, granted, he didn't do a whole slew of issues, but his work there on the interiors when he came back and just did I think that's the last thing I've seen him do, like substantial, more than a cover, more than a couple pages of art for, and that was, dude, he's still got it. Guy's still got it. Obviously, from this cover, the one on the right here, this 1 in 25 variant by Allred was my favorite, just because of all the Batmans we get. I love the Neil Adams there at the top, like above the Batman. I kind of broke it down here a little bit, dude. But
okay, nice.
Just take a look, man. It's just a plethora of. I love like a lot of pulpy Batman. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of, like, we got a Genie Batman. A lot of these have to come from the early iterations in the comics and all those wild stories. Like, I just love how Allred probably did his research, and I don't know all of these, but that doesn't mean I can't appreciate it. It's so cool.
Same here.
Up top were the ones that I definitely, that Neil Adams is such an iconic image.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that one with the three yellow rings around the head and the lightning bolts on the left there has me curious, but such a great cover by Allred. Just a great preview of what you're gonna. I think this guy's really on his game. I think he's really inspired by what he's doing throughout this comic book.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's really bringing it with this one. Real quick, let me get back to the chat before we get into issue 1, because we had a bunch of new.
Quick question though, but
yeah, go ahead, bro.
In the Superman base age, is it like a new origin for Superman in that one as well? Or is it like,
dude? So it's been so long. Honestly, it's been so long since I've read it, but yes, it is, and it's a new origin, I believe, in that it's kind of like a new world he's falling into. I remember the Green Lantern having like a new origin of sorts in that, so I do believe it's like a new origin of sorts. I don't know if it's this radical.
Okay.
Apologies, man. You know how it is with comics sometimes. It's no. And that one's not even this old, so I don't have that much of an excuse. But yeah, I don't know. I just that it's a lot more. I like this world with this Allred art. You kind of think it's going to be cutesy and not as serious as it is, but it's very dark. You know what I mean? And it's very. I love how it's like Cold War-ish, but also post-apocalyptic. Like it's got all these great dark themes running throughout it, whether it be with the characters, the subject matter, what's going on in the the times. I love how it also flips U.S. history on its head. It's just dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so one more thing.
Sorry to not answer your question by just.
Would you say you've enjoyed this more within Superman?
I think about on par with Superman Space Age. Superman Space Age was definitely, it came out of left field, and I definitely wasn't expecting it, as far as like Allred doing all three books being like the old prestige format and like a bunch of pages, and so that was such a delightful surprise. The story was so great. I had my doubts, honestly, in my reservations coming into this, thinking that he wouldn't be able to pull off the magic, but so far it's been really strong. I think he definitely took a big risk going with the origin, kind of sticking with it. And issue 2, I was wondering if he was going to depart radically from that and have him we were going to advance them in time, or he's really stuck with it, and I kind of admire that risk he took because he's pulled it off, at least to me, for the most part. And he's walked a thin line with it, because a lot of these things are like, I could see them not working, and people are going to like probably hate this, and I definitely understand that. I know Chris from Lost in Comics after issue 1 was saying, this isn't my Bruce. I wouldn't, but at the same time, that's what I love about this. It's a completely different, and some of these reactions, at least in issue 1, we'll get to it, to his parents' death and stuff, when he's at home, he's not even with them, he's at home comfortable in his bed, feel very real and authentic. You know what I mean? They feel, especially, I love all right, let's get to it, because I'm just going to start blabbing before. Issue 2, another set of amazing covers. Great cover B by Dave Johnson with the white, the black, and the red. Another great cover A by Allred. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I feel it's there. I mean, they both have a pulpy style. Allred and Paul Pope to begin with. But when I seen his Batman in this, it evoked so many images of Paul Pope's Batman. So I'm glad to see that Paul Pope did a variant.
Yeah. And I love this, like, this jungle painted one that we got from Steve Pugh here. All solid.
That
dude.
is sick,
right? Like with the bad eyes, that's like the red kind of horizon / sunset / mountains.
Oh, sunset. Okay.
It's so fire. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so that's it. But hold on real quick. I'm getting all ADHD with it. Let me get back to the chat. Christina in the house. What up, Christina? Thank you for coming through, ma'am. Good to see you as always. Hope you were doing well. Pedro, what up, Pedro? Good to see you as always, brother. Thank you for coming through, supporting us across all fronts. Fable, what up, brother? I think I said what up to Fable. If not, hold on. Who else do we have? John, oh, what up, bro? John's killing it with those shorts on the X-Men 97 episodes, dude. Such a great episode of Omni last night with Chet. Shout out to John. We love you, brother. All right, I think that's everybody. Everybody, thank y'all for coming through and hanging with us. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it, man. City of Tomorrow. We get Thomas's Wing's grand vision for Gotham. And I loved Allred's like swinging for the fences straight out of the gate here. I just love this artwork in the City of Tomorrow, right? So, and then I love how it's juxtaposed against Batman and present day fighting off this. I forget the name. I'm gonna forget the name 1,000 times. The No Face Clan, the no. What we're gonna see it, sprayed on the wall here in a minute, so we'll know that. But yeah, Batman doing work. I love how we get the callback also to his first iconic appearance, that cover art. You know what I mean, with him swinging from the rope like that. I just love that shot. And how it's also like the billboard ties into the City of Tomorrow from the page before. I just thought it was just a brilliant introduction. I love this part. Dude's about to shoot a rocket at him. Like the train takes him out. Like, that's a full page right there. Just fantastic. What were you gonna say, bro?
This kind of gave me like Fallout vibes, in the whole like 50s retro but futuristic sense. Like the introduction of the person narrating how Gotham was like, when you move, you can just take your home with you, and talk about it. It just felt like 50s retro, which is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call. Yeah, there he is, kind of just like about to dive off the side of the building, like stepping over these guys that he's just taking out. Just fantastic art, dude.
And I say that cool little detail with the little patches on the edge of his shorts and shit. Like, it makes sense, Like, I can respect that, because I always kind of was like, man, Batman's got so many gadgets in those pouches, Like, the few more pouches when it hurts. I like to see him, and they're not even like highlighted.
The life held it up some.
Hell yeah.
There you
just
go,
need some shoulder pads. We're good to go.
Yeah, there you go. Just when in doubt, consult Rob. What would Rob do? I love this detail though. Wayne Manor's, like the old folks' home, is it's not Wayne Manor, it's Wayne Manors. I love that, and Bruce staying there, basically a bitter, grumpy old man, who's definitely a problem to deal with. The people who work here at Wayne Manors are trying to help Bruce out by having him fill out this blank book and put his memories in it, and kind of like, rebuild his life that way. But I love how, like, we're going back, like, at the start of the journal to, of course, the night his parents got killed. I love his room, dude. Like, these little mini Batmobiles he had on the floor, even as a kid. Like, these little details that Allred and Russell put throughout this comic book really made it for me. I love this bit. But yeah, Dad's tucking him in, telling him everything's going to be all right. Dad's very much the Clark Gable lookalike. I love this. Like, this reminded me of Diodato on doing the AWA work. Like, how he will always kind of carry his character's likenesses after famous movie stars. But yeah, dude.
Yep.
I think I might have found the stock photo that Allred used for a reference, but great shot there. Yeah, Marcus Zorro, dude, and this is just a cold-blooded homeboy just straight up saying to the people watch, another unsolved murder, like with the pearl necklace on. Cold-blooded.
In front of it, people.
Yeah, right.
Alley, bro. This is right out.
Exactly. This isn't Crime Alley. This is like, we're in front of the theater, bro. Like, there's it's brutal killing. Meanwhile, Bruce is at home in bed. So we go from there to the board meeting. What's going to happen to control of Wayne Enterprises. And this is when we meet, the head of the board, or the one who's been waiting in the wings to take it from a weak-willed Lucius Fox, Roman Sionis, none other than the Black Mask,
which I thought was a cool little interesting,
right?
That was, these little just insertions and stuff throughout, with taking little liberties creatively with certain characters. I thought it was a cool twist, like
absolutely
very fitting for someone like Sionis. It's
Sionis. That sounds so much more elegant than the way I said it. So let's go with that.
What'd you say?
Sionis? I don't.
Sionis. I like that better, actually. But we know him as the Black Mask, if you're in the know, right? But it's just a very fitting position change, and like you could, I almost like this better than his actual origin. Though I don't really know his actual origin, but this, you could tell this was like a creative liberty taken, and it pulled off quite well.
Absolutely, I love like the. Lucius Fox. Lucius leaves. Lucius is like, I gotta recuse myself from the vote. I'm gonna turn it over to Roman. He leaves the boardroom and he's like, Lucius Fox is nice. Thomas Wayne was nice. nice. And then he's like, I'm not nice. I'm a businessman. And he's like, so let's look at where, Wayne Enterprises is doing their business. And he really breaks it down. And they kind of, from this meeting, decide to push Bruce out. Obviously, you learn here that too, this is going to be this underground cabal, this faceless society or whatever, is going to take over Wayne Enterprises. So there they all are, putting on the masks. Bruce is still in the picture, right? He's still got a chance of, being a problem for the board and retaining his seat and causing enough of a stir. If he can make it till 18, but he's going to have people trying to kill him basically up until that point, and even afterwards, as we'll soon get to. But yeah, there you go. All in favor of me taking over and being an evil motherfucker, doing what I do, say aye, and so we move on. We'll learn that who the hand is that really rocks the cradle towards the end of this issue, who the really, like, the powers that be, which also has a tie-in to Superman Space Age. But go ahead, bro.
Oh, okay. See, more reason for me to dive into that. I'm gonna be on that tonight. But no, I was trying to think of the name of, like, obviously this is like what do you want to call it? homaging the Court of Owls, I guess, or it's a copy of the Court of Owls.
It does
Um,
feel very
but I almost find these guys creepier. Like these putty masks. They remind me of like the Putty Patrol from the Power Rangers.
Yes,
With the
man. Yes.
woo. But no, yeah, very creepy. And you could that's a cool little like. Cianis is obviously gonna spray paint that bitch black at some point,
Yeah.
or somehow it's gonna become black. But cool little connection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fable says, "Damn it, Stu got me looking up." Yeah, Superman Space Age. Check it out, man. It's great book. Y'all check it out. If y'all think you might be interested in this, I recommend that one first and see how you feel. And just says this black mask isn't even black. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. So, meanwhile, Alfred has become caretaker for Bruce, and so we start to kind of follow their lives together. Alfred is obviously paranoid at any type of assassination attempt on young Bruce, and takes sometimes extra cautious, paranoid steps to ensure that he isn't that nothing happens to him, or he isn't placed in a precarious situation. Ultimately, like, he can only do so much. We get, of course, Bruce exploring the catacombs, falling down amongst the bats, but it's really kind of brushed aside here. It's not your centrifugal Batman moment. You know what I mean? It's not like the moment where he decides to be the Bat. Here, it's just kind of like an incidental thing.
Which it was that's very interesting. Like, it still doesn't take away. I can see this is like stuff like this. It's little twists like this, where I could see why Chris says this isn't his Batman, because it's his core, or his origin is like very fundamentally changed, but at the core he's still the same though somehow. Like, he still gets back on the right beaten path. But it's very, like you said, it's like it's just a happenstance. It's really not, when you just say, actually, well, I mean, we'll get to it, but it's like in main canon he becomes Batman as a boy essentially. Here it takes quite a while, but he's still Batman. He's still got that Bruce we love.
It does. Yeah, it takes yeah. We'll get into it, but it's such a great journey. So yeah, here we are. He's this is the part that I felt was most real and true to life. Like, all he's got is his butler. He's a rich kid whose parents have just been murdered brutally, and he goes off the rails, man. He starts acting like a clown. He's getting arrested all the time. He's got the Wayne legal team, the Wayne Enterprises legal team at his beck and call, so he can. Yeah, he feels untouchable. And he acts the part. There they are, there in the courtroom on the right. He's drinking all the time. He's drugging. Like, bro is out there. Like, he's completely off the rocker. He's a problem child. He's about to be in the space where Alfred really doesn't know what to do with him, and he really doesn't. Like we were talking about earlier with these character switch ups. Great little scene here with Selena Kyle in the station house when he's getting arrested. I just love these two meeting each other. She's there. I forget, what is she getting booked on? I forget what she's getting booked on.
I don't think they really say, to be honest, because Bruce is kind of just like bragging about himself. Like, he like explains why he got booked, and he's like, I'll be out of here, and he kind of just segues into I'll be out of here and such. My butler's gonna bring donuts, matter of fact. And she's like, it must be nice, to for someone like, I don't think she really explains, but she says something like, for someone like me, that sets me back from like accomplishing life goals. For you, it's just like another Tuesday.
She's completely disgusted by his behavior. It's fantastic, and she will have a major part to play later with his story. But I don't know. So at this point, he's kind of growing into a man. We get this. I don't know if this was supposed to be Joker here with this scene here with him and the comedian. I think it was like
I definitely got the vibes.
okay. It was an interesting little 2 pages where Bruce wanders into a comedy club. He sees this comedian on stage killing it. I don't know. Not too much happens besides that. I guess they have a quick word after, but he doesn't pop up later in the story, or at least not in these 2 issues that we're going to be covering. But maybe be on the lookout for him down the road. Okay, so yeah, we learned that we see here on the right that Wayne Enterprises is trying to step up the effort and make an attempt on Bruce Wayne's life.
Master Bruce.
Like, so these attempts are constant throughout his childhood and his young adult life. He never really, he's kind of just isolated. It's just kind of him. You can see Wayne Manor kind of getting overgrown. Alfred's got his hands full just trying to keep him on the straight and narrow as best as he can and keep him alive. And meanwhile, he's got this company that's enjoying watching him fall from grace, is trying to murder him or take him out in any weak moment. I don't know. And here we get the scene with Selena Kyle, like I was talking about earlier. Bruce gets pissed off or whatever with Alfred, goes out for a walk, finds Selena kind of struggling with some guy who's got a knife. We'll find out later this is all a setup for Bruce, I think, and Selena's involved as well. Anyway, Bruce tries to help. Selena kicks him in the face or whatever. The cops show up. Selena cries foul. And then the guy says this guy was the one attacking us, pointing to Bruce. He was trying to kill us both or whatever. And that's a wrap for Bruce. Basically, you find out this was a setup and, kind of a genius ploy by Sionis and the powers that be at Wayne Enterprise. Why go through all that noise and mess of killing him when we can just get him? We can just throw the book at him, get him sent away. Obviously, this guy's on the wrong track. We throw him in jail for 10 years. He's going to be a complete mess and ruin by the time he gets out. Yeah. So he goes in front of the judge, gets the book thrown at him, and there you have it, dude. What did you think about the setup with Catwoman and Selena Kyle in the alley and all that, bro? Did you think that was a cool little use of her character?
Yeah, I love that. True to her nature, bro. Like young Bruce, but especially before she knows him, is everything Selena Kyle hates. She does not like the 1%. We'll say, when right. Bruce certainly is part of the 1%. So yeah, absolutely, she have no qualms about this pompous little prick. Hell yeah, he was just trying to offer me donuts and shit while I was about to get locked up, so hell yeah, I set him up. She probably made some good money for that as well. So
oh yeah,
I thought that was true to her character. But
hell yeah, I'm excited for their inevitable reunion. Anyway, we get back to exactly. We get back to the situation at Wayne Enterprises where we find out that the pariah is the one, the powers that be, the guy who's been behind the scenes the whole time, or for a while, and he wants projections or whatever up till 1985 because obviously this guy can, he's got a disturbing, uncanny ability to see into the future, know what's coming. Obviously, him at the head of. Yeah, exactly. Him at the head of Wayne Enterprises, this will be extremely beneficial and profitable for the company. Nobody will see a reason to, divest power or, take power from him. But you got to wonder why he only wants the records up to 1985 and what's coming after that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. And that's where we end issue 1, dude. I thought a great opening salvo, dude. For the old Batman's origin rigmarole, and it continues to develop in issue 2. But I thought this was just such a fantastic, you think you know what's coming, but you don't. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So issue 2, we're back at Wayne Manors. Bruce is continuing to fill, to fill in his diary, and he remembers a a day in prison. So this was his birthday, and he thinks that if they're going to assassinate me in prison, they're going to do it on my birthday to make a statement, right? Um, and so on his birthday, he requests a cake, and Alfred makes him the cake, and of course, the cake has all these different components. For this was the biggest stretch, I think, of the whole thing. I don't even know what the like. I just feel like I think Mark Russell wanted to flex on his knowledge about like the paraffin wax or whatever it was. Um, anyway, this cake is made of like frosting that will blind you upon contact with the eyes, a candle that will burn and is made of extra flammable wax, like all this stuff that somehow passed you know jail inspection and all that. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, he's able to fight off the murder attempt by these 4 or 5 guys with the help of this cake, and thank God a steel lunch tray, which ends up breaking the final assailant's arm. Yeah, because he was still done for. He still had one guy to take care of after the cake took care of the rest. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think about the assassination attempt in the jail, bro? It was a curious way to open issue 2, I think.
I feel like because Mike Allred's style kind of evokes like a lot of the pop art style, like the 50s, or like
Yeah.
so and see those kind of simple tales. So I thought it was a cool, it fit for the world he's set up. Yeah, I mean, it's a good way of showing Bruce's in this world, Bruce's intuitiveness, like his innate intuitiveness. Like, he doesn't have the training yet, but he still got that, the spark to get himself out of tough situations. It was goofy though. It was goofy, but
It was. Yeah.
I floated it.
Real quick, let me get to the chat before we get too much into this. Oh, James Phelps in the house. Phelps, what up, brother? What's happening, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming through. Always good to see you. He said, man, it's got this thinking it was tied into Superman Space Age. It is so don't get me wrong. However, I think you can enjoy this one on its own in a major fashion, just because of the it's kind of like an Elseworlds, like we've already said. It's kind of like an Elseworlds Batman origin story. So, but there's definitely elements from Superman Space Age that I would recommend reading it for. That'll click, and I'm sure where we're going towards the end of this is going to tie in heavy to that. But at the same time, yeah, I think this is a great one to read first, and then maybe get into Superman Space Age afterwards. So hopefully it lets you do that.
Yeah,
it just says, I really want to read this now. Thank you, Stu and Link. Seriously, love the show. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate that you appreciate it, honestly. Love y'all. Appreciate you being here and being in the chat with us. That makes it all worth it, man. Proof that you can't have your cake and eat it too. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Brother Joe in the house. It's all good, bro. We know wrestling comes first. Appreciate you even joining us. Yeah, here we meet Gordon. Gordon and Lucius have a little conversation about Bruce. Kind of trying to figure out what to do because they're stuck between a rock and a hard place with the control of Wayne Enterprises and all that stuff. And Lucius is basically like, we gotta try to keep him alive till 18. Anyway, he gets shipped out, and on that note, he gets shipped out to Vietnam, like as if it couldn't get any worse. So, the powers that be are like, all right, we put him in prison, we tried to kill him, that didn't work. So we need to take him further out of the equation. Let's throw him in Vietnam. He's sure to get killed over there, right? Right?
Yeah.
So
it can't be connected. He's sticking out in war, bro. This, but dirty scoundrels.
Dirty rotten scoundrels, always. Yeah. So off our boy goes to Vietnam. And who does he get put with? Right? Like, and we're talking about, flipping Elseworld characters on their head. who is going to be, his squad leader? None other than Ra's al Ghul, dude. Such a great turn right here. You could say you could see it coming, but regardless, it was such a dope
Fitting.
flip. Raz is training this super hardcore group of, I don't know, commandos. I think calling them commandos or special forces is almost doing a disservice, right? They're this disruptive unit, that's moving throughout the jungle and Vietnam.
No guns.
No guns,
No
bro.
guns. Well, I
No
mean,
guns.
that's kind of future, but that's how deadly they are, bro.
Right. Like we're going basically like blade only. There are some arrows, but and that's another great thing we learned, that Oliver Queen's part of this
twist.
In Max Lord, I think, because Bruce is thinking of Max. Yeah, we'll get to it here. But yeah, here we go with the training, man. Some of you will die. We get so many good old Roz quotables in here. But those of you who learn what I had to teach, you will not only survive, but I love this quote, but you will learn to live in the fears of those who sent you. Because he's like, some of you come from powerful families, some of you got sent over here. People wanted to get rid of you. He's like, if you survive this, what I'm about to put you through, he's like, they're gonna live to fear you nonstop. So I thought that was dope. Anyway, here it is with Ollie. I love Ollie's shooting the arrow, right? And it hits old boy in the arm, and he's like, you missed, Mr. Queen. And he's like, what if he dies of thirst? You know what I mean? Because it knocked the canteen out of his arm. I just love that bit of that little quip, man. That felt very Oliver Queen like. Just a great little moment, because that's really all we get from Ollie in terms of dialogue and interaction. But yeah, dude, what did you think about Bruce just becoming a commando? Did you love this interpretation of Ra's al Ghul? Like,
yeah, I mean, I thought it was another unique twist, which is in 2 issues. This book has a lot of them, but I mean, it makes sense for how someone like Bruce would acquire the training he'd need, to become Batman. And it's fitting within this world. Like, it's like playing the whole Batman Begins thing, but it's like it's almost like it's Punisher-esque, where it's like he's a Nam and he's really like might be a little bit more grizzled than Batman from modern day, because he might be well, I mean, there's a scene where I don't know, it's it's definitely a different Batman, because spoilers, when he finally interacts as Batman, there's a scene where he just seems kind of like he's enjoying it, like he's which he always does enjoy his time as Batman, but he seems more playful with it, like a Dick Grayson, which is different than Bruce, so it was so I don't mind. Once again, this is such a different, unique world. I'm expecting like them to take twists, so I'm all for it, and I thought it was cool. Cool little, it made sense, This is how Bruce becomes Batman.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so here we follow them on a mission here and there we go with the thanks Max. Max is helping him out. So that's why I was like, damn, Max Lord too. It's just so dope. Like, it's just one frame and it doesn't take much, right? Like, there's not a whole lot else in the issue tying them together. But I just love that like universe building. I think that's so dope. You leave that thread there if you want to pick it up later. Why not? Anyway, they're here to liberate this camp. They blow it up. And then after this, just great art by Allred there with the explosion. I love that. After this mission, they're all sitting around just chilling out, and they hear about the existence of Superman for the first time. Very cool. And I love this here. Like, I couldn't help but feel the way my dad described feeling when he first heard about the detonation of the atomic bomb. That the game you thought you were playing at breakfast had entirely different rules by lunch. Just a great. I think Mark Russell is so great at those poetic narrative passages. I think that's definitely one of them. Then immediately after that, I love this like little tribute, like how they're all looking up in the sky. They're expecting homeboy. They're in Vietnam. They're expecting him to touch down immediately and end the war. And I love this up in the skies at a bird at a plane, like the play on that. Just between him and Max, like looking in the tree. I just thought this was brilliant, dude. Just a great scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, they learn the Superman's real and he's out there, but he doesn't show up in Vietnam. Meanwhile, back at the White House, we get Lois Lane asking the president the hard-hitting questions, especially about this rumored black commando group that's been seen moving through the jungles of Vietnam, disrupting, And I love, it's probably just a bunch of bats. Just a great little bit of foreshadowing there. Just great, man. With the was it Lyndon Johnson lookalike? But yeah. All right, so back in the jungle, our commando unit, we find out that they've been pushed deeper into the jungle because they're really on the NVA. The North Vietnam's alliances. They're like I think that's what it stands for. They're on the number one on their hit list. My dumbass. Yeah, number one on their hit list. Because they've disrupted, just so much. Like they're a consistent problem. So they're deep in the jungle here, trying to move through it. And they stop at this waterfall where Roz sees men underneath the water. They open fire on them. Somebody gets hit. They get through it. They end up getting out of it, but they're kind of wounded and distraught. But in the meantime, they do take one prisoner. And this is kind of where the difference sets in between Bruce and Roz and, their eternal disagreement. They try to talk to the prisoner, get information out of him about, where the troops are, or whatever. Bruce is saying in the narration about how the most of the time when they do get information out of these guys, it's a booby trap or it's a setup. But regardless, Roz wants this information. He hands Bruce a dagger and more or less tells him you know what you got to do. Bruce approaches the dude, thinks about it. He's like, no, we'll try again tomorrow. He wakes up in the morning. The entire unit's gone, and this dude is stabbed to death with a knife. A knife through the note into this guy's chest. What does the note say again? I thought I had it. Oh, it's his honorable discharge papers. Oh, yeah. It's his honorable discharge papers from the Army. As if, like, right? Is that not the most backwards crooked thing? That's some Ra's al Ghul shit if I've ever read it. Like, you didn't stab this guy to death, so here's your honorable discharge papers. Yeah. Anyway, Bruce is like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm headed home. He knows me going home to Gotham is a death sentence. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. He goes back home, the press is there. I love how like this moment with Alfred, he gets home, he like kind of sits down, he decompresses and he just starts crying. Like that felt so real. I love just a great moment between the two of them for all the shit he's put him through. I think it's false face. It's false face society, dude. I think that's it. There you go. Yes, okay. I knew we would come to it. So yeah, Bruce is back. He learns about this group and how they've kind of embedded themselves at Wayne Enterprises, et cetera. He's getting caught up in kind of everything that's going on. He goes to see Lucius, and what does Lucius do, dude? Of course, he brings out the prototype, man. What else do you do when Bruce Wayne comes to visit you from a long character building, skill building hiatus overseas during his youth, dude? You show him the prototypes, man. Does this come in black? Yes, it does, brother. You know what I mean? We're here for you. What's this? This is how we fight back. Let's get to it, dude. I think this is what you're talking about with him smiling, man. Like this was like everything.
Such a great line. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, there he's back with the Pariah's aware of it. He's also kind of like he's being weird. He's like, all this ends. Everything you love is turned to ash, and he's getting all weird and like super apocalyptic. But at the same time, they don't know what to do because every prediction he's made or every decision like he decided to go with, I think at least in the past decade since Wayne's been gone, has been dead on the money because he does have the ability to see into the future, et cetera, know what's coming, good or bad. In the meantime, they're like, all right, Wayne's home, he's back home. We're gonna send the A team and wipe his ass out, off the face of the earth. So they send a big kill squad to Wayne Manor. I love this bit, like where Alfred tries to hand Bruce like the pigeon rifle or whatever, and he's like, I prefer to trap mine, or some shit like that. Like I love that. But yeah, so Batman gets to work. He's ready for business, dude. Like he hits these guys from every which way. They don't know they don't know what's coming. He ends up dragging them all out together, tying them up, dropping them off to Jim Gordon. I love this when he goes up to Alfred. Alfred's in that little chest. He's like, "You can come out now," and Alfred just like kind of falls out of this chest, clutching the pigeon rifle. Yo, this is like so great, bro. And like the 5-6 dudes, maybe more than that, tied up behind him. Great, yeah. Dropping off, classic Batman, Chapter 1. Dropping off, great Bat car up there at the top. Just fantastic, dude. And there we get our disfigured guy. I can't figure out if this is going to be Two-Face or what. This disfigured dude here at the end of the comic. But they recognize that there's a new problem back in Gotham, man, and this problem isn't going away, and it's Batman. So, they don't know if Bruce Wayne is tied in with this or what. But yeah, he's talking about there was a whole guy waiting there and he took out the whole squad. So. We got to figure out what we got to do. But great ending to issue 2, dude. I love the action. Again, Allred's killing it.
Yeah, hell yeah. I didn't even think about the Two-Face thing, and now I'm thinking about how cool that would be because I've always kind of like Black Mask and and Two-Face have always kind of reminded me of each other, and I wouldn't mind that twist where instead of like some lawyer, attorney, or he could be someone who's always vying for power through crime. He worked his way up as a henchman type shit, and to have I'm sure this is like 6 issues, maybe 8. I'm entirely not sure, but I'm sure it won't go that deep. But there's so many cool ideas at play here. Like this is a cool world.
Yeah. I don't know. Superman Space Age was 3, so I don't know where we're going with this, man. Yeah, that's a good question because I definitely feel like this has longer legs than that did.
Yeah, I would hope that this is on for at least 6.
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me check. Bear with me, guys.
Check the chat. See if my tab. Oh shit.
So we got 4 issues. 4 issues total in this one, brother. 4 issues total.
Wow.
All right, so that's better than 3 because 3 would have been too short. But yeah, gonna be curious to see where we go with it.
Damn.
Oh yeah. All right, guys, brace yourselves. We love that book. These next 2 books we're gonna hate read with you. So let's start off with Blade number 10. Man, before we get into it, so many thoughts, right? So we're here at issue 10. This is a series that could have lived longer than 10 issues, but we're here at issue 10, and we get a rushed ending to say the least. Now, I can feel one type of way about that because it's a rushed ending, and they just they didn't stick the landing or et cetera, et cetera. But when I think back on the throwaway issues we had on this book, we had an issue with Hulk for no reason, just because they probably felt this title wasn't selling enough and needed to pair it with the Hulk. And so for them to kind of rush and I feel like muddy what Bryan Hill was originally trying to do on this book and kind of play games with it, really felt disappointing. This was a book, first
Absolutely.
3-4 issues that had such promise, such awesome action, dude. Some of the action in the first couple issues, dude, like jumping out and attacking the helicopter after the one night stand, like all like the opening thing with the car coming through the window, like Casagrande's art was dynamic and awesome. Like I thought it had so many strengths, and I really feel like um Marvel just wanted it to sell or wanted to do something that it wasn't doing, and really doctored and distorted and turned this into a series that just fell so short of I felt like what it could have been. So ultimately, like such a big disappointment, and especially a character who doesn't really get a fair shake, um, not nearly enough when it comes to comic books and you, you know and stories, and I felt like we really had something good here. But thinking back to the end of this issue and like this threat that got introduced in issue 1, and this is how we all tie it up. It was just, man, this one hurt. I got to be honest. This one hurt, and um, I felt like really the whole creative team got done a disservice, especially with some of the nonsense I feel like they had to deal with from editorial. But I feel like this was just a drop ball on Marvel's part, and um, I bring it up, and we're talking about it tonight because we spent shows on this issue on I'm sorry, on this series. We spent, I know we did multiple issues of this book, so we had high hopes for it. We loved it. We were all in on it. I don't remember us saying a ton of negative things about the book early on, but it had been a while since we covered it, and now I know we both caught up to this ending, and man, I don't know. Anyway, how'd you feel about it, brother? Just taking that journey along
You
with
said
me. How
it.
did you feel at the ending?
You said it, man. Like this is it just was so disappointing. Like, and I know issues end like this sometimes, but it's just like you could just kind of feel like the momentum was just like even like we'll get to it, but even I feel like you. I mean, you said it, but it's funny. I had thought that, but when you brought it up before the show, I was like, well, that must be a thing. Like, that can't, that's he was trying to make a statement himself about the overall handling of the series. Yeah, it's very disappointing because I had high hopes for this. Like, I was really enjoying this, like the first couple issues, like you said, first four, definitely. And then like we didn't cover every issue the week it came out, but there's been different points where we did double issues of it. So it's like we covered the entire series. And it's just like, I don't know, just the way this was executed, just like that. It was just the whole, it's a fight the entire issue for the most part. And I'm not trying to jump ahead too much, but it's just, this is the type of issue where it's like, this should have been the penultimate issue. Then the last issue is like the unwinding time where you get the character moments and you send them off on the different ways, the different journeys.
Yes.
The way this was handled, very just, oh, that was a thing.
Yeah.
So it just, yeah, I was really disappointed with how this was.
Yeah, and what like we'll get into it, but like a lot of this book kind of felt like a protest from Bryan Hill. A lot of these the fight felt lackluster, and how we left Blade at the end, like you were just saying, Blade at the ending saying basically, "I'm going to sit on this rock and not do shit." Um, really felt like Bryan Hill kind of expressing how he felt about
Yes.
yeah, about this one. Anyway, covers, just I think 2 or 3. Declan Shalvey there on the right. And then yeah, Lionel Yu. I like the Lionel Yu variant. All right. So we start off and we're in the thick of the battle with Adana. Blade and all the homies. We got pardon me, I'm not gonna remember all these names, but Blade, his 2 female compatriots, and the ghost of the the ghost of the who was supposed to be Adana's ultimate, like the yin to Adana's yang, right? Adana is this ultimate evil, but this is the being that was supposed to protect the world from her. Blade ended up killing it or him early on, and then revives his ghost or whatever for this fight, this ultimate fight against Adana, and brings him back. But yeah, I don't know. This whole the fight was so quick. Like the fight was, and he's like, oh, we get a nice little like bit of shit talking right here, and he's like, oh, knuckle up. She does like the little superhero landing, they get blasted, and then the fight is just like the fight itself is so fast, dude. I mean, how many pages is it? 1, 2.
I feel like there's a decent amount of pages, but like you said,
1, 2, 3.
A lot of the panel.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like get ahead of you. Anyway, she nails this. She nails the superhero pose. Like they all go flying. They regroup. Blaze tries to hit her. She ends up getting an arrow through the throat. Like they hit her on multiple fronts. Homeboy shoots her through the forehead. It's still not enough. She's still standing. Eventually, though, we get this like horde of bats that flies over her. She's not fooled by it, but the sword, the ultimate nullifier to her power, gets stolen in the mix up, and then gets shoved through her chest, and that's pretty much the end of it, dude. Like she floats away. The ending. This is why I think this is why. I can't believe this happened, man. I cannot believe this happened. This is so crazy. Right? Like this series was so damn good. He's got to be mad as hell about this because the fight is over, right? And what does Blade do? Blade's like, I don't want to talk about. He's like, what we did here today is enough. I'm gonna sit on this rock and I'm not gonna do shit. Like this is what I'm gonna be doing. And like that was the end of the story. Like and there's and the next page is like don't give up hope yet. There's another Blade comic coming later this year. I don't want that shit, man. Y'all, this is too like. And Jed McKay had a great one-off, I think, about Blade Vampire Nation. I think it was. I don't know if that was him or Bryan Hill, but like they're two great Blade books. I feel like that they just haven't given a proper chance to, man. This was baffling. Now this is just so. I'm on slide 13, Link. Like. We were going through Batman Dark Age and it was 30 slides of comic. Like, what? This is our finale? What?
And I didn't know going into this. I was like, I think this is the last issue. So I'm reading it and I'm getting to that last page, the last panel. And like, I'm watching it wrap up and I'm like, no, bro, no. And I see it say end. And I was like, oh my God. I was holding out hope to the very last moment. That's it. Like I said, this was a penultimate issue. I would have been fine with it being the battle itself was still the overall wrapping up of it would have been lackluster no matter had this been a penultimate issue. But still, it was like, okay, maybe next issue we're getting Bryan Hill, tying up some loose ends and some shit like that, setting some shit up for the next venture for Blade. None of that. He sits his ass on a rock and it's like, yo, we did good today, guys. Take some R&R. That's it.
Man, it's rough. It's rough. All right, let me get to the chat real quick. You said, I love how Roz always calls Bruce detective. Yeah, like it's a sign of respect and a slap in the face all at once. It's true. So instead of going away to learn ninjutsu, he goes away fighting the war. Yeah, sorry I didn't get to these till now, guys. You said that ending was weak, and once you get an understanding as to why it ended this way, yeah, it's just like we gotta come on, man. They know they're wrong. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming through. Talk said Midnight Suns will be interesting, but I wouldn't blame anyone for stopping here. Don't let it reflect poorly on Bryan Hill. Yeah, absolutely. Bryan Hill's. I love his Ultimate Black Panther. I think he's a great writer, man. I think I don't fault anyone when it comes to Marvel Comics. I think a lot of the times
it's Marvel.
Yeah, the fault is with them and editorial and the decisions they make. Sal says, feels like the goal was to give Blade vampire powers to be upgraded for the. Yeah, that's just not enough for me, man. I don't know. Like, I was way more invested in that than this. Like, to be fair, I've had some. Amen, bro. Amen. So true. All right. From one disappointment to another. Ultimate Spidey number 4. After our like world shaking into issue 3 and discovery of Harry learning who Peter really is and kind of hacking his suit with no problem, etc., etc. Like we get into this weird dinner convo issue that's not done by Chiquetto that you definitely notice. How did you feel about this one overall, man? This is another thing. Like we're on a limited schedule here. Like this one, we cannot be wasting. This is what are we even doing? Listen, if you don't have all your Ultimate Spider-Man in the can done by Marco Cicchetto before you sign off on these release dates, don't do this, man. Don't do this to me. I don't want, not on this title. This is too important. Like, and the whole thing felt throwaway. It felt like Hickman adjusted the story because he knew Cicchetto wasn't going to be on. You know what I mean? Like, but this just didn't work for me. Even with there was some good art, but like, just I don't want the change from Cicchetto, and I don't know. This was bothersome.
It wasn't as bothersome as Blade was for me, but it was a step down from last issue. I agree with you on that. I get what he was going for, and I do agree with you. I think he altered or adjusted the story to fit the artist. There's nothing really dynamic going on in this. Like it's pretty much just convo the entire issue. There's some interesting things going on with a certain introduction. There, I could see there's even a certain dynamic at play. I could see being very interesting. But it's a lot of this conversation could have been summed up in a couple pages and not stretched out the entire issue. I feel, you know what I'm saying? If we're working on limited time too, man, like
that's what I'm saying, dude. Why waste an issue like this?
Yeah. I know that was such a cycle for so long, or a habit, like writing for trade, but it's like I feel like we're past that now. Like, if you want to write for trade, write for trade. If you want to feel like a monthly comic, be a monthly comic, do that shit, like this is it's such a momentum breaker. I feel like, the gears really shift. I can understand them having a follow-up conversation. Like I said, like the entire issue,
Yeah.
I mean, there were some interesting things going on. But yeah, it was not exciting, I'll say.
No, it was not. Even the conversation was like, there was a couple points, but first of all, Harry and Gwen came off like the swinger couple who's way too aggressive and like wants you to join the party. You know what? A little too hard. You know what I mean? Like they were a little out of pocket multiple times during dinner. Like, all right, bro, y'all need to chill out. Obviously, here's my thoughts just before we get into it. Gwen is some type of counterpart to Harry. She also wears some type of suit because she shows up late to dinner and Harry's like, and she's like, everything go okay, whatever. And she was like, I tried to give him the carrot or whatever, but they wanted the stick instead. Like, so it's like, and the fact that he was checking up on her and that was her response was odd to me. So I think Gwen, which would be dope to me, Gwen being like some type of like, not obviously that's been done before, but like having some hardcore villainous part to play in this Ultimate Spider-Man world would be dope.
Bro, what if she becomes what if she ends up becoming, I think that would kind of be kind of neat, given her and Green Goblin's history. What if she ends up becoming Green Goblin, or he starts using the Green Goblin, like gets her like her own Goblin armor and starts using that shit? Because Harry's obviously trying to use it for good right now, but she seems a little bit more. There's more layers to her. Like on the surface, he seems a bit more cutthroat, but I feel like he even admitted, he said throughout the issue, like she's a bit more business minded than he is, or kind of more focused on business than he is. So I could see her really like abusing her armor to kind of like take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And start her own empire type shit.
She definitely seems focused on that.
Yes.
Yo,
I'm not gonna lie, it's funny you made a swinger joke, because I could have sworn when they posted it later, the bathroom, bro, I totally got vibes like Gwen was gonna like don't take this the wrong way. Very attractive or some shit like
Yeah.
that, where like shows that they're very open.
Yeah. You and Peter ever have any fun? Like what, bitch? Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah. All right. So like a lot of 9-panel grids. Shout out to my boy E. But a lot of conversational pieces throughout this. There we get our Gwen. Solid Gwen intro.
He was
here's
trying his
what
hardest to emulate
he was.
some Cheto, bro.
He was. But come on, man. Here's what I was talking about with like I tried the carrot, but they wanted the stick. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I was like, all right, and I'm starving. So she worked up an appetite. Obviously, she was beating some ass somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hold on, real quick. Vern Diggy in the house. Vern, what up? Station, bro. Hold on. Sal said, I can't wait to spend hundreds on this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Phelp said, we swing on Thursdays. You have to bring some to get some. Amen, bro. Amen. Like your style.
Like that.
Yeah, so I also love how MJ and Peter like have what is it, BK? Like before baby, or
I was like, "Are you talking about the king, bro?" And then she was like, "Before kids." I was like, I like
that's
that.
so great. I love that. Yeah. Great little parental moment between them. Obviously, these two are not like super keen on having kids because of the world they're going to bring them into, type of deal. So they give the appearance of being like both individualistic, but also, they have some chemistry together, but both seem to look out for themselves first. They also have this like united cause that they're joining in. But Gwen is no joke, man. She's not messing around. She takes interest in what Uncle Ben and Jonah have going on. Of course,
Almost
after Mary Jane talks about her PR work that she's been doing for them, and helping them get their feet on the ground and all that. But I love this thing when she's talking to Peter about like expanding his options or whatever, and he's like, "But I work for the Bugle." And she's like, "Well, with that attitude, you always will." Like, I thought that was like, okay, like throwing some shit back at
that moment.
throwing some,
Yeah, bro. I almost felt like that was like a little flirty moment, almost like so establishing some sort of like Peter kind of likes that, she challenged him in that aspect or gave him that sort of attitude or sass, Very interesting dynamics at play. But
yes, absolutely. Great call. Totally Dotson vibes. Absolutely.
Hell yes.
Great call, dude. Yeah. Dotsons are so underrated. All right, so yeah, and then we go back and forth with we get Uncle Ben putting doing babysitting duty, also hanging out with JJ and being granddad or granduncle.
I mean, I guess this is one of those issues where it's like certain elements that have been building up in the first 3 issues get revealed, but it's like such small things like the name. I'm not gonna hold you up. I'm very curious what JJ and Ben were gonna call their paper. Like
yes.
So I would reveal it. It works for me. I think Hickman nailed the explanation in the conversation where it's like it's very simple. It's not too elitist. It gets the point across. It's very old school. Everyman was the word they used, but I guess that was a cool reveal. I'll take it. I guess that was worth the Gwen Peter energy. And it was worth the price of admission. I'll tell you, but it could have been more done in this issue. It did feel very. Here's something, guys. Hold you over.
It just felt it's not enough going on for like all these other issues, everything that we gotten in all these other issues, especially, and it just felt like they mailed this one in and kind of took an issue off. Like I hate to say that, but it kind of feels like it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is kind of crazy. Is like even a writer with the pull like Hickman can't avoid these type of deadline. I don't want to call it a disaster, but you know what I mean? Like these scrambles to get somebody else on the
So
book.
man,
And
you know what I've always been about like the how. What's your average turnaround to make a comic? Like you would think, like you were making a point earlier. This is what made me think of it. It's like when you announce a book like this, and you got Chichetto and Hickman, you would think that you'd at least got the first arc in the can, or at least 3-4 issues ahead of when you guys are launching the book. Like so, it's like where does this stagnation or this interruption happen? I get over time, maybe, but I don't know. I almost feel like if you had say I don't know. When you've got a certain A team lined up, that Hickman and Chichetto on Spider-Man is going to sell. It might not,
yeah,
if you got crazy expectations, it might not meet those figures, but it's going to make bank. So you would think that it'd be like a safe bet, like people are going to buy this. So let's kind of just churn out these 6 issues on time. So it's the same crew, let's have, so by the time they put issue 1 out, they've already got the other 5 issues in the bag. They just got to wait to publish those. I don't know really the ins and outs of why they can't do stuff like that, but I don't know. You would. I don't know. I was very surprised it wasn't. I didn't see it coming. I'm kind of reading books as they come out right now, so I didn't know Chichetto was going to be off so early on.
neither did
I
I.
don't feel like he did
Right?
it on Daredevil. Like
No,
Daredevil, he was pretty consistent.
he seemed a lot more consistent, and it's just like I don't.
Okay.
And Sal makes a good point. It's like Nick Klein not drawing the Hulk, and it is, and it's like I lose interest with the fill-in artist too,
Yep.
and because and it's like this 3-issue pattern they have now, where okay, we know we can get. It's like once they have 3 issues locked in, like they have the pencils, 3 issues like from a great artist, they go ahead and like, all right, we're gonna run with this. We'll figure out
Well,
issue 4
yep.
/ you know what I mean, like, and it's just like.
Yep.
It damages the
It's
story, man.
frustrating.
I think one of the best recent examples is Human Target. You look at that. I think it was around 5 or 6, and DC came to that bridge where it was like Smallwood's doing an incredible job, but he's, and I that now looking back on it feels like a no brainer. But at the same time, people were, I think people were like thinking like, well, can you get somebody else to fill in and do? But like they
Right.
were like, no, you
Yeah.
know what? We're gonna take a couple months, let Greg come back and kill it, and like that's exactly what happened.
It
And
makes
that book is all the better,
yeah.
posthumously, or in the future that
Mhm.
book's going to live on forever
It's
because
gonna.
they decided exactly. And that
Yep.
few month hiatus is not, it's going to be whatever, because that book's going to be collected all together with Smallwood's brilliant art, and people aren't going to notice a hiccup or a difference. This, they're going to be like, oh, Ultimate Spider-Man, the return of Hickman, Peter gets kids and is happy, and it's going to be like, what happened in issue 4, dude? You know what I mean? And it's like, even if we go to 6, like we got 2 issues to like bounce back from that, and like
This is the type of
just, like, what are we doing, dude? What are we doing?
it's almost if someone's not too keen on Spider-Man or following the Ultimate Universe or keeping in the know, like this is a jump off issue. It's like, that lost my interest. I don't. If there's gonna be, I feel like there might be more of that in the future. I'm not gonna continue conversations.
And it's like,
Yeah.
it bothers me because I know
Hickman
somebody was
is
in a boardroom. I know somebody was in a boardroom was like, they'll be mad, but they'll come back for issue. You know what I mean? They'll come back for issue 5. Like issue 4 will piss them off, but it's just one issue. They'll come back for 5. Like, and it makes me mad because they're right, but at the same time, like I know that they had that conversation. Fuckers.
That's true. It's funny because it's true.
You know, somebody's playing with devil. Somebody was devil's advocate up there, like hardcore. Okay, but yeah. Anyway, back to Gwen. Like we were saying earlier, I'm kind of in the mood to see if I can launch a pirate ship. She wants to finance basically Uncle Ben and Jay Jonah's paper, right? She wants to help get us on its feet. She has an abundance of cash from this Stark Tech merger that she helped oversee, a bunch of overloaded cash on the books, and she wants to find a way to invest, like make some of it disappear, and she feels like this would be a perfect opportunity. the girls go to the bathroom, and Harry calls out Peter for, oh, you haven't told her that you're Spider-Man, have you? Peter comes clean and is like, no, I haven't come clean yet, but my daughter knows it was an accident. I love when he's like, Harry's like, well, that's good. He's like, at least somebody knows what we're trying to do or whatever. And he's like, what's that? He's like, save the world. He's like, well, I'm glad you didn't come on too heavy-handed or anything. Peter's joking with him. He's like, oh, bro, because you see a little touch of Harry's fanaticism right there, right? Like, yes. Where he definitely feels like the savior complex is all on his shoulders, and that's exactly right. Well said, Link. And that's gonna come into play, obviously, as it always does with Harry Osborn later on in disastrous ways. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting moment between these two, where I love how Harry asks him, like, right here, do you think you can insulate the people you love and those who are close to you from the consequences of what you're doing or what you got going on right now?
That's a great point, bro.
It is, dude. It's so. I think when you're talking to Peter Parker, like, that's the type of truth you got to speak. If you're going to at least pretend like you're friends to Peter Parker, you got to speak those type of truths to him, because Lord knows, he needs to hear it. And he has a typical Peter Parker response. I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm doing. Yeah, exactly. I don't know whatever this is. And Harry's not trying to. He's like, dude, I've seen you out there in action. You enjoy it. You take thrill in it. You know what this is, man. Like, stop acting so naive. I love that. I love that with Harry, kind of bringing him back down to earth. Oh shit, I can't see what this is. Sorry.
You know what I'm very curious about with this Harry, real quick. We haven't really revealed, like, the inner workings of his mind. So it's like now we know he loves and respects his dad, but we don't know the history of them in this relationship. Like, is that a front he puts on to, like, the public? He doesn't want the public to know they had a really odd relationship, where his dad was actually kind of a dick to him. Or maybe Norman Osborn in this universe really wasn't that bad of a dude. Because this Harry seems much more confident than any other Harry I've ever really encountered. He is the Norman of this universe in terms of, like, his very self-assuredness. I'm not used to that.
Absolutely.
In Harry, so
dude, and it's like right here. I just figured out what it was, but Harry, of all people, is the one who delivers to him the with great power comes great responsibility line, right? Like, it's like, what? And this is when he said, this is what, in reference to what we were talking about earlier, when, it's up to us, right, to save the world. Like, it's like, dude. So it's like, Peter's like, what? Peter didn't know what to do with this right there, because there's that, of course, that element of truth to it, but at the same time, this dude's talking super crazy. Like, and I just met you, bro. Like, I just met you.
Right. Yeah.
You need to calm down. You're talking about saving the world. Like, we just fought, we just fought a dude who was throwing explosive playing cards at us on the rooftop. Like, let's take one day at a time, man. But yeah, it's wild.
Harry.
Yeah, I love this conversation on the walk home with Peter and Mary Jane, where, like, those two are fucking intense, right? And she's like, yeah, like, what was that about? They're both like, yeah, what were those two about? And I love that when she's like, man, this is so bad, because I know it's going to end horribly. It's going to end fire and death and pain. But she's like, why do I need, talking about superheroes, why do I need a superhero when I got you? And he's like, the look on his face, dude, it's like, oh man.
No, I gotta put off on. There's another I have to tell her.
Right? Exactly. It's like, man, it's just, I don't know. I just know it's gonna be nothing but pain and death. But yeah, regardless, an okay issue. Had its moments with the conversation, but largely, like, definitely did not do it based on like what we've been
Didn't do it.
expecting from the series, like what they've given us. This was a weak chapter. All right, bro. We're hour and 20 in. Do you want to try to get through Cap, or
We,
what do you want to do?
so it's up to you. You feel like it's something we could? I feel like we could just kind of run through it if you want, but if we could just
We
save
can.
that for next week.
A part of me wants to do it, but part of me doesn't want to run through it. I don't know. You want to do the first 3 issues?
Yeah.
All right, let's do the first.
break it
Let's
up.
do the first 3 issues, and then we'll break it up. All right. So, if y'all don't know, we covered Remender's 2013 Captain America run with John Romita Jr. A couple
Can
weeks ago.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. No,
I just want to point out. I'm loving your new mic. You sound beautiful. Take that, Robbie.
let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Nick. Nick gave me the recommendation, so it's all from my boy Nick. But hell yeah, I'm glad to hear him coming in loud and clear, man. Yeah. So 2015. He started this run is 2015. He started in 2013 with he did 25 issues, 10 of them with Romita Jr. The rest of them he had great fill-in artists on the other 15 issues. But eventually Cap hands over to the Shield to Sam Wilson. Basically not too different, as Link and I were talking backstage, not too different than it is in the movies. Cap wants to live a full and old natural life. He wants to grow old with Sharon. Sam is going to mentor his son, hopefully, and he sees no better substitute than Sam Wilson. So Sam Wilson gets the Shield. And we kind of get Sam's... Go ahead, bro.
Oh, my bad. I was just gonna say, real quick. I'm getting out hyped thinking about this. But at the time, like I feel like this was such a great fitting. Like I was so on board for like Sam as Cap and like Ian as his Bucky. Because I feel like Remender had put in the legwork for that. Like who else like other than Sam than Bucky would Sam entrust his Cap, and he had been putting in all this work with Ian over the last couple of years, so it was cool to see that natural progression, and it's very short-lived, unfortunately, but it was so cool at the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and this unfortunately is what kind of like the swan song for Remender's time at Marvel. This is kind of like the end of it, right? This is, I don't know if the last thing he'll ever write, but it's damn sure close to it, man. Unfortunately, he's on the way out. Go ahead.
This was like the last big thing, because they actually wrapped up his, because Ian was left in like an ambiguous spot when they kind of brought on Secret Wars and shit. So Remender did like this 4-issue miniseries called Hell Hydra. They might call it like Captain America Hell Hydra or some shit, Secret Wars Hell Hydra in trade. But it was pretty much just 4 issues kind of like chronicling what happened to Ian and where he ended up next.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't even really they advertised that so horribly. This was like the last big thing. Like you said, it was one of the last things he did before he was out. It was like this, and then the Hell Hydra series, and Remender was out of there.
He said his was Rage of Ultron after this. When was
that?
Rage of Ultron?
It was. I think that was the last thing he did, but they released that as a trade. That wasn't released in like
singles,
mini.
Damn. All right, heard that. All right, cool. So yeah, before he goes off and kind of just takes over the Independence/Image game, this is the last we get him, dude. Stuart. First of all, let me preface this: Stuart Immonen on artwork fucking kills it. Like. The action panels in this, so many great double page action splashes in this, just so many great close-ups. I just thought the level of detail, both close-up and far away, was amazing. Yeah, dude, I don't know. We'll get to it, but like through all 6 issues, he really shines on this run. Yeah, so we opened up with Sam kind of infiltrating this Hydra base. They've kidnapped this what's it called, Inhuman child. They don't know what kind of like his deal is yet. He's been affected by the Terrigen Mist. and has some special heinous power, but they don't know what it is yet. Again, great like double page splashes. Sam going to work on with the wings, got Redbird with him, kind of taking out Hydra guys through the air, using the shield. Just some great action, great artwork, great coloring.
Yeah, beautiful.
I think Wade Grawbadger on coloring. I could be wrong. I should have those credits.
Yeah, he usually
does he? Yeah. Did a great job. Here, I love this part. He kind of lands down at the bottom of this this entrance or whatever. Throws the shield and misses a bunch of guys, and like this Hydra guy's like, wow, that was really bad. Like, you just threw that shield and missed all of us. And Sam's like, well, you should have seen it up top, man. I threw it and I took out like 4 of these guys. The Hydra guy picks up the shield. He's like, no, it's all in the wrist, man. Let me show you how to do it. And he flicks it. He takes out like all the other Hydra guys. Then he takes his mask off, and like we realize it's Cap's son. It's Ian. That was like a great moment. I love his introduction here as like the Hydra guy undercover.
Yo, did you peep? I'm not familiar with the character, but I'm aware of him. When Ian scanned the dude's face at the bottom, it says like Bob such and such is confirmed. I know that Deadpool has like a friend called Agent Bob. I'm not sure I think he's a Hydra agent. I mean, he might work for AIM. But if that's Agent Bob, I thought that was a cool little
I bet it is. Knowing Remender and like his love for Deadpool, I bet it is. That's dope. Good catch, bro. Yeah, so Cap and Ian rather make their way through this facility trying to get to this kid. They eventually meet Batroc, of course, the Leaper, played by George St. Pierre in the Captain America movie.
I thought that was a cool little synchronicity, bro. I hate when they do it verbatim, but like this was a cool example of like having synchronicity, but it's not directly influenced off the movies. Because when this was coming out, this was around the time of Winter Soldier, and we know Batroc had that dope little fight scene with Cap at the beginning.
Yeah.
But it was cool way of like, say someone was just jumping into Captain America around this time. They go see the movie and shit, like, oh shit, that dude's in the comics. Like, I recognize him. It makes them want to get more invested. That's like a good example of like synchronicity. Good synchronicity. Should I say?
Yeah, no, absolutely, because it's like it pulls on like so many of those characters from like the movie. You get Crossbones in here. You get Sam. You get Ian hasn't showed up in the MCU. But yeah, like it's cool to see kind of see them echo Baron Zemo in a way. Like I don't know, it's cool to kind of see them echoed or at least interpreted on the big screen. I love Crossbones, dude. Crossbones is one of my favorite all-time villains, be it Cap or anything. Like I think he's such a badass. So he's so.
I love his attitude, bro.
Yeah, man. He's like what the Punisher should be. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just. Anyway, yeah, Batroc. So great fight with Sam and the Batroc goes on to the high stakes up on the this like little like precipice or whatever. They get it in, like they're fighting or whatever, and then at the last moment, Ian throws his little staff. He knocks Batroc off this tower or whatever, and seemingly kills him. And Sam's like, nah. No, that's not how we do things or whatever. And Ian's like, whatever. I was taught like, if you see your friend getting hurt, you take care of him first, and you don't really worry about the guy that's trying to kill him. So like a typical Ian, it's your typical like comic book. No, we don't kill. Oh, my bad. Like I saw you was about to die and saved your life type of conversation. Like but I love
There's
it.
always a better way.
Yeah, and I love this introduction and rapport at this point between Sam and Ian. You know what I mean? Like Sam feels like Ian's been constantly showing him up. He saved his life. He showed him up with a shield. Like I just love like Ian's introduction here. He's such a badass.
He's almost not really jealous, but they kind of give hints of he's a little bro. I should have been the one to take the shield.
I'm saying he's doing all this without any wings, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like my man's getting it done with like the Donatello staff. Like you got to give it to him. Hell yeah. But at the end, like they get caught in this explosion. They're in the elevator. They're like, oh, what button do I hit? Of course they hit the button B, which takes them to Baron Zemo's level, who's there with like all the, it looks like, what is it? The Masters of Evil. Isn't that Zemo's group? The Masters of Evil? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
We got
Yes,
we
sir.
got Taskmaster, we got Lady Red, we got Armadillo,
Is that
we got
Armadillo?
Baron Blood, like Crossbones. We got all the goodies, dude. All the cat nemesis here. So that's the end of issue 1, dude. The end of issue 2 is so fire. Anyway, what a great splash we open with on issue 2, man. And I'm doing this disservice. I didn't include each of these issues starts with a great flashback page where Sam Wilson is digging into some part of his past or his family's past, and it really helps define and build the character along the way. However, when I'm trying to put them together in slide form, it's kind of like so jarring and out of context.
Doesn't translate.
If I don't like string them all,
Yeah.
I probably should have strung them all together all at once. That would have been better.
No,
But yeah, it doesn't translate. Because after those throwback pages, you get these great action pages, and obviously I wanted to showcase those first.
If they
Yeah, right.
The full thing. Oh, read that book, damn it,
Oh yeah, but they're great, especially for really understanding Sam and like what he's gone through and who he is. Just one or two page blurbs, but they're fantastic. Yeah, so we get this giant fight across this Madripoor like city. I forget the name of it. It's like Bagalon or something like that. Yeah.
I was gonna say be something.
It reminds. It's very Madripoor-y, Vegas-y type of Hydrasins in the bright lights, big city type of deal. Yeah, dude. Crossbones is a piece of work. We also get Misty Knight shows up in the equation, I believe, in issue 2. Right here, kind of saving his ass. Crossbones has got Sam on the ground. He's got a blade like right in his face. Sam is able to pull out Crossbones' gun and point it in his face, and he's like, "Tell me what you know. Tell me what's going on." Crossbones is like, "Bro, you're just gonna have to pull that trigger, and if you don't, you're gonna have a blade in your skull in a second." So it's like one way or the other. He's like, "Bro, I'm not telling you a damn thing," and you believe Crossbones. Luckily, Misty Knight shows up, saves the day. Yeah, she's like, Misty Knight says something. He's like, "All I got." I think Crossbones is like, there's 2 inches of steel about to come down on you, and Misty Knight shows up and she's like, luckily I got these 4-inch heels, and like blast him in the face. It's a great little moment. Yeah, she shows up, helps our boy Sam out of his tough predicament. Unfortunately, they still have Ian tied up, right? They're all out of salt when they came out of the elevator. They lost Ian and the scramble, and he's being hung upside down by Baron Zemo. And then we get our super harrowing end. Dude, one of my favorite comic book moments ever is that panel on the top right. Zemo slitting Ian's throat with a slit. Dude, while filming it on the phone for Captain America and sending it to him and narrating the shit while he does it. Like, just a great gangster Baron Zemo moment. Filming his Cap's son's like demise at his own hands and then sending it to him by himself. It's just fantastic. What a great way to end the issue. You're like, damn, Ian's for real dead, because bro's like strung up upside down like a chicken and got his throat slit. He's definitely not coming back from that, right?
Yeah, like, bro, the comic books. This had me thinking of like the movie version of him. I like the dude who plays him. And, it's not up to him the direction they take Zemo, but I'm hoping when we see him in Thunderbolts, like he's slowly turning into more of Zemo from the comics, where he's just a cold, calculated motherfucker. Like, we've seen that he's cold and calculated, but I didn't mind it. Like, it was a good origin for him. Like, he was very emotional when we first met him in the MCU. It's coming from an emotional standpoint. I just want to see him be fucking cutthroat and villainous just because, like,
hell yeah,
like this type of shit that like. Just you can feel it. When I read it, like I just felt like, you just did it with it's no thing. It's a Tuesday to him, This is no big deal to him, That's scary.
Yeah.
But
Nice General Bison reference right there, bro. I appreciate that. Oh yeah.
I've been trying to squeeze it into
All
my
right.
regular vocabulary, you know.
Yeah, of course. Of course. RIP. Live like y'all go watch a Raul Julia movie, man. Like just the amount of energy and panache and style that he gave that role that had
Yes.
like that really he had no business giving it, like given what that movie was. And dude, just like such a fantastic actor, and knowing that like he gave it all,
Legendary, bro.
he was like reading the scripts for it on his deathbed, and really like just a legend. That's why anytime anybody talks bad about that movie, like it bothers me, because I know that man, like given what he gave us in Addams Family, and like how much he was like a
Yes.
treasure part of my childhood, and knowing that like he was on his deathbed on some shitty ass movie that he knew wasn't going to be trash, but he still like that moment when the lightning comes down and he's shocking dude across the room, bro. It's like you feel the full theatricality of that, and it's like, man,
Yes.
this moment has
Fucking
no
love Street Fighter.
business being, yeah. This moment has no
So
business
bad.
being this good. Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We love you, Raul. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh yeah. All right, last issue before we say goodnight, man. Issue 3. Oh shit. I love this issue because of the like. Of course, Sam's tied up here at the beginning with Lady Red, and we learn like all about their evil plot and what they're planning to do. Finally, this kid's blood, who is an inhuman. He's developed these powers from the Terrigen Mist. His blood will make all human beings sterile, right? And they're trying to find a way to weaponize this and use it against all non-believers, all Hydra non-believers, right? And they're going to infect the human population, and they won't even know it. They'll be oblivious the whole time, but they'll be sterile, right? And they won't be able to reproduce.
Children.
And meanwhile, yes, but all high-ranking Hydra members, or senior Hydra members, or et cetera, will have the antidote, as we see later. Yeah, and can use it. Anyway, we kind of learn this as our boy Sam is tied up by Lady Red. We kind of get some back history, Red Skull, blah blah blah. Well, actually, I'm sorry. This issue starts as kind of like a simulation, where we find out like Lady Red, and they do end up revealing their plan. Lady Red has Sam tied up, and he realizes what they're gonna do. At the same time, though, this plan is contingent upon explosions and other things going off in various locations like Florida and Tibet, and like they got all these locations across the world where they need, exactly, where they need this plan to go off and succeed. Sam learns about this, kind of knocks out Lady Red, and is gonna, take things. Take things, I guess, in his own hands, and kind of at this point we don't know where our boy Ian is. We think he's down and out, so it's kind of on Sam. Sam learns the evil plan, but at the same time, like, is he too late to stop it? He stops Lady Red and like in her little payload delivery, but is he too late to stop everybody else? Yeah, I don't know. This is he blows up Lady Red's rocket and all the evil she was going to do at the end of episode 3, but we do not think / believe that he'll be in time / able to stop all these other worldwide events from happening, which will ensure the sterilization of the global population, right? And the proliferation / reproduction of Hydra agents across the world. It's going to be a Hydra's going to be repopulating the world like rabbits out here, dude. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fucking shit show. So I love, like, it's such a, this I don't know, this grand evil plan always made me think twice. Like, I love how it gets synthesized later when it gets, like, when they kind of like figure it out and one up it, and like Baron Blood comes into the equation. But I just love how it ends up like turning into just like a blood bomb. We're just gonna explode it, and we're gonna explode a bunch of blood into the upper stratosphere, and like hope that works. Like,
yeah, yo, we might not get them all, but we'll get some.
Exactly. It sounds like a Hydra plan, and like all these guys are so dead set and believe like this is gonna be like the ultimate payday. Like it's just so funny. Like this is what
reminds me of like Dr. type of shit, you know?
Yeah, right. And it's like, and we'll make them all sterile. It's like, bro, what? It's like, sir, that's going to take like multiple generations to see the fruits of. It's like, you know what? Yeah, it's just wild. It's wild as shit. But yeah. Anyway, come back next week as we follow our illustrious Captain America, Sam Wilson. Will he be able to stop Baron Blood, Baron Zemo, and the rest of the Nazi conglomerate from spreading their pestilence all over the earth? Dude, the next issue, I thought it was this issue, but yeah, issue 4 has a really cool scene, really cool Sam Wilson using my power scene. All right, I got I guess my government before we get out of here, and then we'll say peace to the people, man. Yeah, I think
I'm ready.
I don't know. I might got you.
Guess who? Government? Ah, the government.
First of all, why are you stretching backstage like that? We about to race Usain Bolt, bro? Calm down.
I gotta get loose for this, bro. You know, I don't want to pull any muscles and shit.
All right, as y'all know, guess my government. Yeah. Guess my government is where we give a comic book superhero or supervillain's government given name, and we try to guess who that is. And so tonight we have none other than Samuel Stearns. And chat, feel free to guess, chat, and prove Link wrong / guess before him. We haven't had a chat winner yet, but hey. Samuel Stearns, guys. Who's Samuel Stearns?
I really don't. I feel like this is some villain I haven't heard of. I'm gonna go with Doc Samson, alter ego or some shit.
All right.
Or I should be like Jack-o'-lantern or somebody, or you know.
Hey, we have for the first time ever, we have a chat winner. The leader indeed. Oh! Let's go. Tombstone. No, unfortunately not. So. Taki said Drake.
Yeah.
that is also correct, Taki. We would have also accepted Drake. Yeah. The kid that used to beat up Bruce Banner and such money. Yep, also correct. All right, the leader, of course. After dropping out of school, Samuel Stearns took a menial job in a U.S. government research facility where an accident led to his body being bombarded by intense gamma radiation. Stearns developed an insatiable thirst for knowledge, and as intelligence expanded at exponential rates, so too did his cranium. And of course, we have the great Alex Ross here with the Mars Attacks forehead. Nothing beats the cone head.
It's wild that my man's is just excited to because you would see that image and imagine trying to comb that shit. That's the task in itself, bro. But I respect that he keeps at it.
Bro, that widow's peak is sharp, bro. You know what I mean?
He's like Vegeta and Piccolo mixed together. That's definitely the vibes I'm getting.
Yeah. We should just keep flaming him for the next 10 minutes, but yeah. All right, so yeah, shout out to E in the chat for the correct guess. Yeah, tonight. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. We finally dethroned Link for once. Link will be back with the vengeance next week, I'm sure. Though, before we get out of here, anything you want to say to the people, bro? I failed to get a PCP schedule together, so I suck.
Thanks for hanging in here with us, guys. It's always a pleasure. We love talking comics regardless, but it's always cool if you guys want, for you to join in on the passion. We love seeing your comments more than you realize. We get so caught up talking sometimes but we always talk about it in the back chats, how we appreciate you guys' interaction. So.
Oh yeah. It's the best
Love
part of the show for me. I love y'all coming through and chatting with us. I wouldn't do this if we didn't have a live chat, honestly. If it was, I love you, brother, but it was just me and you talking and staring at each other. I don't know if I'd be the same. So thank you, Bobby.
We
Thank you,
managed.
Sal. Thank you, E. Thank you, Taki. Thank you, Fable. Thank you, brother Joe. Thank you, Inja. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Verno. Thank you, Phelps. Who else am I missing? I think that's everybody, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Jetson Scholars.
Y'all stay kind out there. Move with patience. Move with love. As always, yeah, Verno's got Phantasm Thursday night. Tomorrow night, I think at 9.
Yes.
With Eric from Earth 2, Blaine Fable. This Friday at 9. We got Spilio, we got Marcus, we got Paul in the 619, we got an all-star show. I don't know. Link,
And
you got any shows?
I
You
know-
got any appearances coming up, bro?
Next week, Wednesday, 9:30. But I know E dropped his video on Monday. I
Yes.
know I can't remember Manny's title for his video, but I know he just dropped one. Taki, we're waiting on you.
Taki's got new content coming every week. We love you, Talk. Yeah. Shout out E, 9-panel grid.
Just did Spider. Did they do Spider-Man recently, or am I?
They did.
Yeah,
I watched.
Yeah, not too.
If not last week, the week before. But I love those two, man. I love the reading voices on those. You know what I mean? It's got really me questioning myself. It's like, all right, I got slides and that's great and all, but like, I don't got reading voices like this. I need some reading like that. That's a whole nother
Give him some
level.
character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, Herm's
But yeah,
beautiful at that.
oh yeah, all y'all are beautiful. Thank you for coming through and spending time with us. We love y'all. We will see you next Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, station. Peace.